You see, Diwali is the culmination of a process that begins in Mahalaya. Mahalaya is usually about a fortnight before Durga Puja. The Navratri days begin. There is a process of energy descent which happens every year on Mahalaya. Vijayadashmi, one part of the process is complete and the Durga aspect of the energy withdraws. The Lakshmi aspect of the energy continues, which culminates in Diwali. Now, even in the word Mahalaya, which most people out this part of the country don't know, in Eastern India it's very big. If you're in Calcutta, there is a whole celebration for Mahalaya because they understand that this process is beginning. Now, Mahalaya itself means the great wave, because those who are sensitive understand that a certain quality of vibration descends on the earthly zone, or the loka as we call it. And the Durga aspect becomes stronger and stronger every day, the 9 days of Navratri, until on Vijayadashmi it peaks. And then as soon as the Visarjan is done, within 3 hours it's clear. That energy is no longer there. So this year when it descended on Bombay, it didn't like what it found, so that was that big storm and all that stuff that happened. But the other aspects of the vibration, because it is a feminine aspect of the Shakti, it is a feminine aspect, the Kali, the Saraswati, the Lakshmi aspect continues, and in Diwali, the Lakshmi energy peaks. Now, of course, Diwali has become important because it has been connected, just like Vijayadashmi and Diwali. They are both connected with Rama because Vijayadashmi is the day that Sri Rama won over Ravana, and then he did all the cleaning up of Lanka, establishing Vibhishna on the throne, and then he returns to Ayodhya on the day of Diwali. So, that is the day the whole city is lit up and things like that.
Can you say that again? What does he do on Vijayadashmi?
Vijayadashmi is when he kills Ravana.
Okay.
With the help of Durga. So that is why the puja is done at that time. It's not the time to do the puja. It's autumn. In autumn, you're not supposed to do any pujas. There is the whole Pitru Paksha. There is the whole this thing for the ancestors. Nobody buys any new things. Everybody waits, and in the middle of that, because he is what he is, he did the puja. And he invoked the energy of Durga. So because he was such a great person himself, he was an avatar, because he did the puja at that time, that energy is now available for the rest of us. We can also access it at that time. But that process is there. It's a very clear process. It begins at Mahalaya and it culminates in Diwali. So there is a whole descent of Shakti and how we manage it. So on Diwali, people do Lakshmi Kuber Pujan. They worship Lakshmi and Kubera. It is not just Lakshmi. There is a mistaken notion that Lakshmi is the goddess of wealth. Not really. Kubera is the energy that deals with money. Lakshmi is the energy that deals with abundance. All aspects of life, health, healing, wealth is a large part of it. So that is why Lakshmi is regarded. But Lakshmi is actually a broader spectrum of the energy. Kubera is the very specific. So if you really want the money aspect, don't harass Lakshmi. Worship Kubera, he'll give you. No, there is an actual specific day on Diwali in the evening, Lakshmi Kuber Muhurat.
So, Rohit, no one knows Gautam, and I don't know about Gautam. I definitely was wondering what's wrong.
You've been sending the request to the wrong department. Yeah. If you're going to engage with these energies, you need to know where exactly the request must be dropped, Otherwise, like we hear in Calcutta, hobe na, it won't happen. It is not proper procedure. Come again. So while of course Lakshmi does give money, it is not true that Lakshmi doesn't give money. Lakshmi, like I said, is a much broader spectrum. There's a lot of aspect of health and healing and abundance and joy and happiness and love in the world and good relationships, all of which are much easier if there is money. So that is why constantly, and the easiest blessing that people recognize is shower of gold coins. So in all the Lakshmi things, the money is flowing. But even over there, the energy that actually brings the money to you is Kubera. So very specifically on Diwali, any halfway decent Kal Nirnay, whatever calendar, you will find Lakshmi Kuber Pujan. And at that time, you're supposed to do the pujan. That is the highest point of the year if you want to do the puja for money, the Lakshmi Kuber Pujan. So this business of Lakshmi is quite interesting because Lakshmi is a word that is generic. You see, the person who is married to Vishnu is not exactly the same as Lakshmi. That is Vishnu Patni Lakshmi, and she came out of the cosmic ocean when they were doing the Samudra Manthan. That is not the same thing as the vibration of Lakshmi. That is not the same thing as the vibration of abundance. There's a difference. Most people don't know that. Then there is the issue of Alakshmi. The Alakshmi is supposed to be the elder sister of Lakshmi, and apparently if Lakshmi comes, she comes even if you don't want her, uninvited. So the night before Diwali, there is I don't know if people do it, but many parts of India there is a little puja. They do the puja to the jhadu, the broom. Yeah? In the evening, they do the puja to the jhadu, brand new jhadu you get, and then you place it on the puja sthan or somewhere near the puja sthan, because after all, a jhadu, how can you put it on the puja sthan? And then you do a total puja to it, and that is the only time in the whole year at night you sweep your home with that brand new jhadu. Not on Diwali day, the day before. Yeah, the night before rather. You sweep it out and then you take all that debris and that dust and that dirt and you throw it from the back door. Or the back window if you don't have a back door. So that's a sort of symbolic way of engaging with the energy. See, it's just an acknowledgement that if you get certain blessings, certain prices come with it. What is Alakshmi supposed to represent? She is called Jeshta, the elder. Now, the way Sanskrit names are given to Devatas is also very interesting. So they wouldn't call somebody Jeshta. What is elder means? This is the original aspect. Lakshmi is an evolutionary improvement. Yeah? That spite, jealousy, narrowness, hatred. The difficulties of existence are what Jeshta is. What we have to figure out when we are in the world and we meet opposition, we meet obstruction, we meet jealousy, we meet narrow-mindedness in people, we meet selfishness, we meet tight-fistedness, lack of generosity, lack of charity, lack of compassion. These are all the things that are cumulatively supposed to be Jeshta, Alakshmi. So how is it mentioned that the owl of Lakshmi who is supposed to be a Vahana, that is actually supposed to be Jeshta. So she is sneaking it without your knowing it. She comes. So the thing is, if you invite Lakshmi, you need to have very high awareness because Alakshmi will come. This is a common thing that is seen in many, many very, very extremely rich people. They always make two fortunes. The first fortune almost always goes to pot. They get destroyed with that first fortune. They lose that money. They don't know how to manage it. They don't know the psychological prices that have to be paid to manage money, to deal with money, not to get carried away. The first fortune almost always goes. That is the experience of Alakshmi. Then you kind of wake up, then you begin to become more focused, you indulge yourself less, you stop wasting your money on foolish things, or you stop treating people badly because now you've learnt what happens. You thought everybody liked you because you were a good guy, and everybody liked you because you were a rich guy. And now that you are no longer a rich guy, suddenly your true popularity is revealed to you. So this is a very, very common in so many biographies of really rich people, you will find the first fortune goes into the water. The second fortune is when they have learnt all these lessons, and that is again a vibration that is very typical in our culture, where that first fortune is always something that comes with Alakshmi. And then you need to deal with it. You need to figure out, okay, now I have these new responsibilities. Now I have this abundance. Now I have this fame. Because she gives all that. She gives fame, she gives social position, she gives abundance, she gives influence. You become a power in society if Lakshmi is there. Which is not the same as being a rich man, because then that is just pure and simple Kubera. If Lakshmi is flowing, you become a power. And that derails more people. Success derails more people than failure. Because in failure you're already derailed. You just get back on track. But with success the chances. So this aspect of Alakshmi is almost as if there is an inbuilt safeguard. There is an inbuilt safeguard that a person will not become too dangerous, because if a person is allowed to flourish and every negative aspect of personality is just being indulged because there is the power, there is the social influence, then the person becomes a nuisance. The Alakshmi is what in the end brings down Duryodhana and Ravana and people like that, because they very obviously have Lakshmi. They are very famous, they are very influential, they are very rich, they are very powerful, but there is something working in the background which people are pointing out to them, but they are refusing to listen. There is something working in the background because they are becoming worse and worse. As human beings, they are becoming worse and worse. So the Alakshmi is a sort of karmic safeguard that we let this person flourish for a while, and then his own character will bring him down, because he does not filter out these negative aspects of the psyche. He does not filter out these negative aspects of behavior. Because these are all just basic narrow-mindedness, spite, jealousy, hatred, envy. These are all just trivial aspects of character. These are all very unevolved aspects of character, and they are all what Alakshmi deals with. Ugliness, judging people on the looks, all these are Alakshmi. There's even one very funny story that she complained to Samudra Putri Lakshmi, Vishnu Patni Lakshmi, that you are well off, everybody loves you, you are married to Vishnu, I don't have a husband. So what do you do? So she got who's willing to marry this one now? It's a problem. She finally got Mrityu to marry. Mrityu. Alakshmi, the elder, Jeshta, Mrityu. So again, it's a kind of symbolic way of saying, if you continue this path, the wages of sin are death. Very clearly it is written in the Bible. Uncompromising. Here, it's the same thing. Alakshmi is married to Mrityu. If you continue along that path, people will say, this guy is a nuisance, this person is a nuisance, this person needs to be taken out of the equation. And here is the interesting thing, because while mythology is all very good and the social structures, these are all in the end teaching stories. These are all stories which are meant to help you in your personal sadhana, your personal growth as a human being, in your yoga. They say Vishnu is never impacted by Alakshmi because he has the power of Saraswati in his tongue. So here we have something very interesting, that the jnana, the power of wisdom is what keeps Alakshmi away. And the power of control of your speech is what keeps Alakshmi away. Now we were just in Chidambaram and we were doing the Panchamahabhuta Lingam, we were doing them, and in all the temples, they are all Shiva temples, in all of them, Jnana Prasumbika Murti, the blissful face of wisdom, the Devi, the Saraswati aspect of the Devi, is always away from the main temple, a distance. The person with the Shivalingam or the Nataraja, that is always the Lakshmi form. Shivakama Sundari. That's what she is called. And the person they never bring out except on special occasions, that is the one they keep inside, that is the Parvati or the Kali form. So from a yogic point of view, what do they call the Shivakama Sundari? What do they call the Devi next to the Nataraja or in all these? They call it Kriya Shakti. And I'm like, okay, this is an interesting thing. Because the Saraswati aspect is called the Jnana Shakti, the Lakshmi is called the Kriya Shakti, and the Parvati or the Kali is called the Ichha Shakti. Ichha means your desire, the power to manifest your desire, which if you are a married person, you have much more than if you are not, But the way to achieve that, the way to achieve the Kriya Shakti, the aspect of the goddess or the vibration of that power that is shown to people when you come to worship is the Kriya Shakti, the Lakshmi aspect of the goddess. So actually, Lakshmi, Saraswati, Kali are all aspects of Parvati. There are three different aspects of Parvati: red, white and black. The red is Lakshmi, that means the Rajasic vibration, the Rajasic Guna, which means the ability to take action in life. Everything that is active is the Rajasic. Saraswati is the Sattvic, which is the pure and the exalted and the transcendent. And the Kali is the dark or the Tamasic, which is the foundational. Tamas is wrongly supposed to be a bad thing, not so. We have bodies because of tamas, others our bodies would disintegrate. The tamas holds our body together, even our minds are held together by tamas. When the tamas shakes loose, you either become enlightened or you become nuts, usually nuts. Your mind is held together and stable because of tamas. So, people privilege sattva too much too fast. Not necessary. Not necessary. From a yogic perspective, Vishnu Patni Lakshmi is not Lakshmi. From a yogic perspective, Kriya Shakti is Lakshmi. Kriya also means to take action. It is some kind of spiritual practice that you do. Whether it is mantra, whether it is meditation, whether it is coming and sitting and chewing Santosh's ear, it is all a spiritual practice. That aspect is what gives you the ability to have, therefore, later on, Ichha Shakti. But the core of living in the world, the core of what one wants to achieve is always coming from the Jnana Prasumbhika Murti, that is, not the Jnana Prasumbhika, sorry, that is the Shivakama Sundari. The Shivakama Sundari, the one that is sitting there, Ichha Shakti. Now this is something that takes a little time to figure out because of the confusion of terms, the same word is used in multiple occasions. Yamalinga, this is the Shivalingam that deals with the god of death. No, not at all. Yama means restraint. So the quality of self-discipline and self-restraint, that linga gives you that. Indra Lingam, this is god Indra. Not at all. Indra means leadership. Therefore, this is the Shivalingam that gives you leadership, or the quality of leadership, or the ability of leadership. So, unfortunately, these things are communicated in a little code manner, So you get confused with Vishnu Patni Lakshmi and Ichha Shakti, or Kriya Shakti, or Jnana Shakti. Now the very fact that Vishnu controls Lakshmi, Alakshmi, he keeps Alakshmi away because Saraswati in his tongue means because Jnana Shakti is very active, he keeps the negative vibration away. And he is anyways on the most tamasic thing in the universe, that cosmic serpent. He just lying on it. He himself is tamasic, you see. He holds the whole universe together, poor fellow. That's his job. Vishnu means that which is in everything. That is the literal meaning of the word Vishnu. That which is in everything, that which pervades everything. That is tamas. It is that consciousness which holds the universe together. If he doesn't hold it together, it would fly apart. Even gravity is an aspect of tamas, Gravity is an aspect that pulls us down. That is an aspect of tamas. Our minds are, of course, we are humans, so we manage, but the mind should not be tamasic. The mind always seeks to be free. The mind always seeks to rise. So the mind is not. Mind is usually rajasic or sattvic. It should be white and red. It should not be black. But human beings, being human beings, highly creative people, lots of effort, we can darken our minds also. So when we look at it that way, things become very different. Kriya Shakti is Lakshmi. So whatever you do, your sadhana therefore becomes your personal transformation. Your commitment to your evolution becomes the way Lakshmi starts flowing into your life. And if you start the Kriya Shakti, automatically, because they are three interlinked, they are not three separate, they are just three separate ways we identify, they automatically the Jnana Shakti and the Ichha Shakti also starts flowing. So why the centrality to the Kriya Shakti? Because people are people, we need something to do. Even in Chidambaram, Tangaganesh keeps saying, no Ankusham, only Rudrakshamala. Ankusham is that elephant goad, the thing that you use to control. Usually the Shakti is used to control and the implement is the Ankusham, or here it is the Rudrakshamala. So the fact is the Jnana Shakti is for control is very clear, whether Ankusham or Rudrakshamala. The Jnana Shakti aspect, and which is why it is kept away from the main temple. The worldly concerns, the family concerns, the whole eternal prayers to God, please make me rich. Basically most prayers that come, 85% of prayers that come in a temple are basically some variation of give me money. Yeah? Those things are kept out. Those who want to learn the control aspect, those who want to learn Yama Niyama, they come. They come. They don't go to the main shrine, they come here because they know this also is needed. The centrality of the Kriya Shakti is too important. Now again, the Lakshmi is the active principle in the world. Lakshmi is the red power. Lakshmi is the Rajasic power. If people do not get little bit financial abundance, little bit social acceptance, social name, fame, family happiness, they will get disheartened. That is why it is centralized. That is why the Lakshmi Shakti is centralized. If you go too deeply into the Jnana aspect, which is why Saraswati is not at all popular anymore today, because then the rewards of going so intensely and so deeply into a spiritual process or an intellectual process are its own rewards. Then you stop caring what people think of you, you stop caring about making the money, and people, they just withdraw deeper and deeper into the interior. They don't privilege the Ichha Shakti also, because if the Ichha Shakti activates, while of course the wifely form is Parvati, nevertheless that is Kali. And you know what happens if Kali starts becoming too powerful. So very, very wisely, very extraordinarily, they place the Lakshmi Shakti right in the center. This is your entry point. This is your doorway. This is how you engage. Then the Ichha Shakti is in reasonable control. Then the Jnana Shakti keeps adding and strengthening. This is the doorway. Any of the other doorways, you went into the Jnana Shakti, you might go and withdraw. You might become a recluse. You might take sannyasa. You might leave. You go into the Ichha Shakti, you start becoming powerful, you start getting things, and you know how it is, the more you get, the more you want. There is no sense of stopping there. Also, when a person is on a roll, he forgets or she forgets about their limitations. They think this is going to continue forever. That is why with the Lakshmi, very clearly there is always a concept Alakshmi. Yes, the blessings will come. But the blessings come with a price. Are you willing to pay that price? They come with certain inevitable social constructs. They come with certain inevitable social dramas around it. How do you deal with it? I used to be told by somebody of my grandparents' generation that in his childhood, if somebody won a lottery in the village, they wouldn't tell the person. What do you mean you don't tell the person that he won? No, we wouldn't tell the person. What they would do is they would surround that person and beat him up for 5 minutes. And then they would tell him that you won the lottery, because they were afraid otherwise he would go mad or he would die with the joy. So now he's like, oh, okay, thank you. And so it was a very rough and ready sort of, but psychologically very astute, psychologically very, I'm like, we call people Gamaru, but they have like a wisdom of their own, rustic people, rural people, because they're very straightforward and simple people. They get panicky very easily. It used to be one of the major fears. Tar, the wire, the telegram has come. And that comes only when there is a catastrophe. Somebody has died, or there has been an earthquake and your building has collapsed, your godown is on fire. So, the tar was one of the big fears. So but this was I was like, so they take care of the Alakshmi even before the Lakshmi comes. Like, just catch hold of the guy and thump him for 5 minutes. It was so we they are natural people. So without all this rationalization and understanding, they just know what needs to be done. Very simple, natural people, they just do it. I'm like, I wish we could do that, now. Some people, maybe after the news, we should thump them. I don't know. Yeah. Because, very often we hear of people, they have changed after they've become successful. No, they have not changed at all. That is what they always were. Previously, there were too many social costs to pay for acting like that. Now they are rich, now they are powerful, now the true nature is being revealed. Alakshmi. So this dynamic of no blessing comes for free is what this actually means. Now yes, as Shivani says, there are certain places where no matter how much the money, you're creeped out. You don't feel comfortable there. The energy is thick. You feel your throat difficult to breathe there. And there are other places where there is no money, but it really feels free and happy and joyous. So that, of course, is a very clear indication. Is it the Alakshmi vibration or is it the Lakshmi vibration? But even that is not the important thing. The important thing is Lakshmi is the Kriya Shakti. Lakshmi is the action. Lakshmi is the engagement with the world. Lakshmi is your commitment to transformation. Sri Aurobindo, who was like the most brilliant man ever, he always used to say, you want to worship the Devi, please understand, these are difficult kind of forms. Lakshmi is the best form to worship. Saraswati will take you internally. She will make you into Vidyasagar. She will make you into an ocean of knowledge. She will make you into Vidya Aranyaka, the forest of knowledge, which means you are so specialized nobody has any clue what you are talking about. Kali is volatile. Durga is too remote. Even the energy descends only for those 14 days. This year it was so clear. Mahalaya, it started descending. I'm like, oh God, she's in a real mood this year. And it just becomes more and more and more and more and more intense until Vijayadashmi. As soon as the Visarjan is done, within 3 hours the entire energy is out. Within 3 hours the entire energy has left the dimension. So when people say that they have regular visions of Durga, they are just deluding themselves. Not possible. Durga is not even of the universe. Durga is from some other reality altogether. And all yogis know that. Which is why even in the temples, unless it is a Durga temple, the Durga is always on the outer wall. Just a clear indication, not from this reality, another reality. To worship that, I am not saying it can't be done. But there is no comprehension of your needs. It is coming from a level that is incomprehensible. There is no comprehension of your needs. There is no concern of your needs only. So which is why Aurobindo used to say, Lakshmi, take hold of that. If you want to do the Devi sadhana, or you want to do the Shakti sadhana, take hold of Lakshmi. That is created in a manner that has been controlled by the yogis in the manner that a person can benefit and continue to evolve. If you go with Kali, of course she'll evolve you. She'll evolve you at rocket pace. Then don't complain because your life has turned. Durga is too remote. Very, very few people can find that power within themselves to rise to that level and that stature. Durga is too remote. Saraswati, the problem is this. It's not a problem, but it's a, if you're willing to do that, you do that. She will take you interior. Deep, deep, deep into places that cannot be imagined. But it is an interior journey. Then nothing will be visible on the outside. Lakshmi is the person who keeps you where you are, and as you are, evolves you. Now why not use that? And that is why we have these flows of energy, we have these holy days, and there is no doubt Diwali is the day for Lakshmi. Though you must, the main office where the money is handed out is Kubera, yes? So Lakshmi Kuber Pujan. And don't forget Ganpati, otherwise he'll stand right in front and say, all right, you haven't given me my due. I find it fascinating. I just find it fascinating. So this time I was going to all these temples, and everywhere it's the same deal. With the main, whether it is Earth Lingam, Water Lingam, Fire Lingam, Akash Lingam or Nataraja dancing, here the Lakshmi vibration is with him. Jnana Prasumbika Murti, the Saraswati vibration, for the people who are really deadly serious, go there. Don't pollute that place with all your graspy, greedy desires. Go there. And the Ichha Shakti you can see only at night. When they bring it out, they bring out a procession, she comes with Ganpati and Kartikeya. Okay, enough giving darshan to people, now come inside and sleep. That you can see only late at night. It's a very fascinating process, but the whole day they are doing pujas. They start at 4 in the morning and they finish at 10 at night. And everything is coming through that one Lakshmi vibration of Ichha Shakti. Kriya Shakti. Everything is coming from that one red vibration. It's fascinating to see it. And if we grasp that, if we understand when we say, because I'm not saying all this is not possible even with Vishnu Patni Lakshmi, but please understand, in yogic terms, she is not really Lakshmi. She is not the red power. She is somebody called Lakshmi married to Vishnu. Very nice. But she is not the red power. She is not the yeah? So this Diwali, at least consciously ask for all the blessings of Lakshmi, and that Alakshmi, Jeshta, the elder, acts like a nice elder and doesn't scold you, doesn't visit you with all her blessings. Or do the jhadu and throw it out. That's even better. But certainly I can tell you on that day the vibration is different. It's not like Lakshmi energy cannot be accessed. Any day of the year you can access it. But on Diwali it is unnatural or supernatural how the vibration is. It's just dramatic, unbelievable. The vibration goes up by a factor of about 100. Just that one day of the year. That one day of the year, the vibration is unbelievable. So that is a day to really ask, Okay? Enough? Sarvam Shivamayam. Jai Gurudev.